I used to think my boss was just difficult. It took me a while to understand I was dealing with a narcissist. Every meeting was a minefield. Every project a battle for my sanity. He'd take credit for my successes and blame me for his failures. My work, which I used to love, became a source of constant anxiety. I'd go home every night feeling defeated, replaying every conversation, every subtle jab, every condescending remark. I tried everything. I worked harder, I stayed later, I even tried to anticipate his moods. Nothing worked. The criticism was relentless. He'd say things like, "Is this really your best work?" Or, "I expected more from you." It was personal, and it was chipping away at my confidence. I started to doubt my own abilities, the very skills that got me the job in the first place. I felt trapped, like there was no way out. The stress was immense. One day, after a particularly brutal performance review where he tore apart a project I'd poured my heart into, I hit my breaking point. I was ready to quit. But then a thought struck me. What if I was playing his game by his rules? He thrived on emotional reactions. My frustration, my defensiveness, my hurt tit was all fuel for his ego. The moment he made it personal, he was winning. So I decided to try a new strategy. I would no longer engage on a personal level. It was a conscious decision to stop letting his words define my worth. This was about survival, about reclaiming my professional aspect. It wasn't about being cold or emotionless, but about being strategic. I had to learn to separate the person from the feedback, even when the feedback was delivered as a personal attack. I decided to focus solely on the facts, on the work itself. The next time he started in on me during a team meeting, I took a deep breath. He said, "Your proposal is a mess. It's completely unfocused." Instead of defending myself or getting flustered, I calmly responded, "Which specific sections do you feel need more clarity? Let's walk through the data on page 3. He was taken aback. He was expecting an argument, an emotional response. When he didn't get one, the wind went out of his sails. He mumbled something about the budget section and moved on. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. I started using this technique in every interaction. I would reframe his personal jabs into objective, work-related questions. You not being a team player became, "Can you give me a specific example of when I could have collaborated more effectively so I can improve it?" "This is a lazy effort" became, "What are the key deliverables you feel are missing from the report?" I created a mental script for myself. I would document everything. I kept a private log of his comments, not for a future lawsuit, but for my own clarity. Writing it down helped me see the pattern and detach from the sting of his words in the moment. It became data, not a personal indictment. When he'd praise me, which happened rarely and usually in public to make himself look good, I would respond with a simple "Thank you. I'm glad the project was successful." I refused to get drawn into the cycle of love bombing and devaluation. I focused on my colleagues, building strong alliances with people who were supportive and professional. We created our own subculture of mutual respect, a safe harbor from the storm that was our boss. We'd cover for each other and offer encouragement when one of us was targeted. This support network was crucial. Over time, things began to shift. My boss didn't change, but my reaction to him did, because I was no longer a reliable source of narcissistic supply. He gradually started focusing his negative attention elsewhere. I was no longer interesting to him. I was calm, professional, and unshakably, at least on the outside. Inside, it still hurt sometimes, but I had a shield. I was in control of my own emotional state. This approach didn't just help me survive, it helped me thrive. My work improved because I was no longer paralyzed by fear and anxiety. I was able to focus my energy on producing high-quality results, which was the best response of all. Avoiding personal attacks wasn't about ignoring the problem or being passive. It was a powerful, active strategy. It was about refusing to let someone else's dysfunction become my own. I learned to be a grey rock present, solid, but giving nothing away. And in doing so, I took back my power, not just at that job, but for the rest of my career.